4.5 billion years ago. A young planet glowed in the silent darkness of space. Its surface was not solid ground, but a roiling sea of fire. Entire mountains of molten rock would rise, only to melt back into the inferno. From the black sky, a relentless rain of asteroids fell, each impact a cataclysmic explosion. This was the early Earth, a world of pure chaos, unimaginable fury, and constant violent transformation. Welcome to Ancient Earth Stories. Today, we're journeying back to a time when our home was just beginning, a time when Earth resembled a small star more than the blue and green world we know. So how did this fiery chaos begin to organize itself? It all started after our solar system first formed. Countless fragments of rock and metal were circling the newborn sun, like a cosmic demolition derby. Through endless collisions over millions of years, these fragments started sticking together, growing larger and larger. One of these growing worlds was destined to become Earth. Every time another object slammed into it, the impact released an unbelievable amount of heat. This energy melted rock and would have instantly vaporized any water before it could even form an ocean. The entire planet was a global ocean of magma, glowing a fierce, angry red beneath a thick haze of volcanic gas. But even within this chaos, a kind of order was emerging. Deep inside the molten sphere, the heaviest elements, things like iron and nickel, began to sink under their own weight. They moved toward the very center, creating the planet's dense metallic core. At the same time, the lighter materials, the silicate rocks, floated upward. This process created the mantle and eventually, a very thin, fragile crust on the surface. Earth was becoming layered, like an onion. This separation was the very first, crucial step toward building the complex planet we live on today. But peace was still a long, long way off. The young solar system was an incredibly violent place, filled with leftover asteroids and planetary debris. For hundreds of millions of years, Earth was subjected to a constant bombardment by massive impacts. Some of these collisions were powerful enough to remelt huge sections of the newly formed crust, plunging it back into a molten state. Then came an impact larger and more consequential than all the rest, a collision that would change our planet's destiny forever. A rogue object, roughly the size of Mars, which scientists have named Theia, came hurtling through space on a collision course with our young Earth. The resulting impact was almost beyond imagination. Theia slammed into Earth with unimaginable force, tearing away a massive chunk of our planet's mantle and crust. This collision blasted billions of tons of molten rock and vaporized debris high into orbit around Earth. Over time, gravity began to pull this ring of debris together. The fragments clumped, collided, and eventually merged into a single, massive sphere. From that apocalyptic destruction, our moon was born. This new companion, formed from the very substance of our own planet, would become essential. It would stabilize Earth's wobble, create the rhythm of the tides, and shape our world's climate for billions of years to come. Even after the cataclysmic birth of the moon, Earth remained a true planet of fire. The surface was a hellscape of volcanic activity. Volcanoes erupted endlessly, covering the landscape in fresh lava flows and spewing massive clouds of gas into the sky. This wasn't the air we breathe today. It was a toxic cocktail of carbon dioxide, water vapor, and nitrogen, swirling through a glowing reddish haze. Breathing this atmosphere would have been instantly fatal, but these volcanic gases were incredibly important. They were wrapping the planet in its very first atmosphere, a crucial thermal blanket that would trap heat and lay the foundation for everything that would happen next. Slowly, ever so slowly, over millions of years, a change began. The cosmic bombardment from space started to lessen. With fewer massive impacts releasing their heat, the surface of the planet finally had a chance to cool. A thin, dark crust of solid rock began to form over the molten mantle below, like skin on cooling pudding. As the planet cooled further, the immense amount of water vapor that volcanoes had pumped into the atmosphere started to condense. It formed thick, heavy clouds, and for the very first time, rain began to fall. Not just a shower, but a relentless planet-wide deluge that lasted for thousands of years. Thunder rolled across a world that was still glowing from within. The first oceans began to form, collecting in the low-lying basins of the new crust, slowly turning our fiery red planet into a world of water. By about 4 billion years ago, Earth had transformed. It was no longer a world defined by fire, but one of global storms, dark oceans, and black volcanic rock. The crust had thickened and become more stable. Deep within the planet, the churning liquid iron core had generated something amazing. A protective magnetic field, this invisible shield wrapped around Earth, deflecting the harsh solar wind and dangerous radiation from the sun, which would have otherwise stripped our new atmosphere away. The stage was finally, after 500 million years of violence, set. The most extreme chaos was over. And soon, somewhere in the dark, warm depths of those early oceans, something truly extraordinary was about to begin: the origin of life itself. The early Earth was a planet born in fire and shaped by unimaginable destruction. Yet from that incredible chaos came order, from that inferno came oceans, and from that hostile rock came the very foundations for life. It's a powerful reminder that even from the most violent beginnings, a beautiful and complex world can emerge. In our next episode, we'll take a closer look at that world-changing event, the birth of the moon, a collision that changed Earth forever. You won't want to miss it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and continue exploring the incredible stories written in the stars, right here on Ancient Earth Stories. Thanks for watching.